Hi everyone, welcome back to the video on my drama channel and my storytime channel. So continue reading Soccer Duel by Matt Christopher, chapter 3, on page 17. Okay, let's continue then. Chapter 3. Soccer is exactly like chess. Well, sort of, Rennie tried to explain to Norm as the two boys walked down Jermyn Street on their way to Conroy's luncheonette. It was a bright sunny afternoon. It had been hot playing miniature golf, making them thirsty for Conroy's ice cream soda as the best in the whole county. What do you mean it's like chess? Norm retorted. I'm outraged. That is a total insult to the thousands of grandmasters over thousands of years whose collective wisdom goes into every move Kasparov makes. Who? The chess champion of the world. Duh, Norm said. Everybody in the world knows Kasparov. No, Norm, everybody in the world does not know Kasparov. Everybody in the world knows Maradona, Mia Hamm, Manchester United, the World Cup, soccer, the world's #1 sport. That everybody knows. So say you. When history looks back, it'll include the sports of the brain. We're definitely cooler than sports of the body, Norm said with a fake British accent, and both boys cracked up. That was this thing that Rennie liked best about Norm, his sense of humor. Being a brain and not an athlete meant Norm was a target for bullies. Rennie knew Norm's wit was a useful weapon against them. By the time other kids got through laughing, they mostly didn't feel like teasing Norm anymore. We're here, Norm said as they walked into the air-conditioned coolness of Conroy's. Rennie led the way to the bar, and they plunked down on a pair of red rotating stools. What will it be? Asked Conroy, a big bald man with a fringe of white hair and a walrus mustache. Rennie didn't know if Conroy was his first or last name, and everyone just called him Conroy. Conroy's place was more just luncheonette. It was a piece of the past. It sold old-fashioned candy by the pound and served homemade ice cream. On the back wall was a huge painting of a farm that made it seem as if you were looking out the front windows of a farmhouse, watching cows munching on grass and chickens pecking the ground. 2 ice cream sodas, Choco Van, Rennie said. The usual, huh? Conroy said with a laugh. He got busy making their sodas. So go on, Norm said. You were saying how soccer is just like chess? Okay, what I mean is, they're both popular all over the world and they both use strategy. You could say that about a lot of things, Norm pointed out, but I can never be good at soccer. You said you have to be good at something to appreciate it, Rennie argued. For instance, that second goal I scored today. Oh boy, here we go again, Norm interrupted. You score a couple of goals, and I have to hear about it forever. Now go ahead, I insist. It's all so fascinating. Rennie frowned. Norm didn't realize what a big day this had been for him. All season, I've been sitting on the bench, Norm. You ought to know what that feels like. Oh, I do, Norm said. That's why I don't play soccer. Unless Rennie realized Norm was never going to be useless, Rennie realized. Norm was never going to get about soccer. Too bad. If he really understood the game, he'd see that you have to think ahead to anticipate your opponent's next move and to maneuver the other guy, just like in chess. Conroy put their ice cream sodas in front of them. Enjoy, he said with a smile, and went over to deal with another group of customers. Looking up, Rennie saw that one of them was Bryce McCormack. Ugh, I hate that kid, Bryce, Norm said softly. He once bounced a soccer ball off the back of my head in 3rd grade. For a second, Rennie felt the urge to laugh, picturing the ball ricketing off Norm's head. But he stifled himself, realizing with the pang how much it must have hurt Norm's feelings. That was a long time ago, he said instead. Maybe he's changed. Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing. It's never going to happen again, because I'm never getting on another soccer field, and I don't think I'll be getting into advanced PE anytime soon. Rennie looked over Norm's shoulder at Bryce, who glanced up and saw him. Hey, Bryce called out with a smile and a wave. How you doing? Fine, thanks, Rennie said, surprised. Bryce gave Conroy his order, then got up and came slowly over to Rennie and Norm. Nice game today, he told Rennie, offering his hand. Rennie was taken off guard. He would have thought he was the last person Bryce would want to talk to, seeing how he just helped ruin the Yellow Jackets' undefeated record. But it seemed just the opposite. Bryce appeared eager to talk to him. So Rennie shook Bryce's hand. Thanks, he replied. Excuse me, Norm mumbled, slipping off his stool. I've got to go to the bathroom. From behind Bryce's back, Norm made like he was throwing up. Bryce didn't notice. Excellent game, he told Rennie, nodding his head seriously. Thanks, Rennie said, flattered. He'd been congratulated a lot in the past few hours, and getting hoisted on his teammates' shoulders was something he would never forget. But hearing it from Bryce, arguably the league's best player, meant a lot. Rennie noticed Bryce squinting at him in a weird way, as if he was sizing him up. Suddenly, Rennie felt uncomfortable and a little scared. You played good too, he offered. Not good enough, Bryce said flatly. You played better than me. Now, what am I supposed to say to that? Rennie wondered. I don't know about that, he said, feeling his face redden. Your team won, didn't it? Bryce insisted. That means you played better. Bottom line. That's it. No buts. He squinted at Rennie again. So how come I never heard you could play? Well, I've only lived here for 8 months, Rennie explained. I played center striker where I used to live, but here I ride the bench because Hornets have Isaac Mendes. Had Isaac Mendes, Bryce corrected, shaking his head. His ankle's broken. You can forget about him this season. Rennie hadn't heard the news and suddenly he was in a confusion of emotion. He felt terrible for Isaac, but elated at the same time. He was now second-string center striker right behind John Sigelman. From now on, he would at least a few minutes every game. He would actually get to play his favorite position. Guild washed over Rennie. Only a real life would be happy to hear that Isaac's ankle had been broken. Bryce must have read Rennie's expression wrong because he said, "Don't worry about losing Isaac. The way you played, your team still has a shot at the playoffs. You beat us, right?" There was something strange in the tone of Bryce's voice. Something angry, something unsatisfied, but it quickly passed. Anyway, like I said, you're really good, Harding. It was painful watching you beat us. Bryce smiled then, a real smile. They should have put me in on defense. I would have stopped you. He clapped Rennie in the shoulder. See you in the playoffs, huh? Hope so, Rennie said. They gave each other 5, and Bryce went back to his stool at the far end of the bar. Rennie sipped his ice cream soda and stared straight ahead, imagining the future. He was the star center striker of the Blue Hornets. They were in the playoffs, fighting it out against Bryce McCormick's Yellow Jackets. The two stars were best friends off the field, arch rivals on it. Norm returned from the bathroom. What did Jerko want? He asked, bending over his straw and sipping his soda. Just to tell me good game, Rennie said. He's up to something, Norm warned Rennie. Trust me, I've known him longer than you. Come on, Norm, lighten up, will you? Lose the black cloud. He gave Norm a gentle push on the arm, setting him spinning around on his stool. For an instant, as he thought about what Norm had said, Rennie wondered if his chess-playing friend might be right. Something about that tone in Bryce's voice. Okay, so that's chapter 3 of Soccer Duel, pages 17 to 24. Take care, everybody. Another video from my Storytime channel.